I mean, I haven't used this word regarding, the narrative about money that us, like women of color have. The trauma is much more stronger because I always say, oh, we have money blockages and, like a mindset barriers around money. And it's true, we do have them, but you go back further into like the trauma. Can you like tell us more about that? I think this is really useful.
Because what I've seen in coaching industry, and especially as a woman of color, not only like working with different backgrounds of women of color, I've seen one thing that goes on and on over and over again is that money blocks, right? But when I dig them deeper, it's not just blocks, it's trauma they have experienced in their childhood, because it's traumatic for a child. We all know that how how difficult it can be to be when your parents immigrate to a new country. Even you are first or second or third generation, you still have that mindset going on in your family, like money is hard. Or my father, like if I share my own example, my father used to work twice. He went out working in a fabric, and then in the evening he was working another job as a cleaner, right? So even though when back in Pakistan, he was highly educated, he was an officer in the military, but coming to Norway, when he immigrated, he started working in the fabric and in the evening he was working as a cleaner. And I'm so proud of him, because lots of time people get like, oh, I'm not going to share that my father, that he worked as a cleaner, because we have like no status thing going on. But I'm proud of him that he provided for us, not only for us but also for his family. So the stories I listened was like, oh, we need to save, we need to save. There were always things going on. And when I speak to another, other women of color, and I see the same story with different colors are going in their unconscious mind, where they have accepted somehow money is hard. You have to work hard to earn money. You are not worthy of money. Even if it's money, you don't know how to save that money, because you come from a scarcity mindset. You end up just saying, oh, I have money now, let me buy a branded shoes, let me buy a branded purse or a bag, because you put yourself out there that you're doing so well in social media. We follow different gurus who are portraying themselves as experts, sitting on the beach and with their laptop, having vodka, whatever drink, and you think that this is the dream. I want to work on the beach. But believe me, it's not easy to sit on a beach and work. I did that in the summer, and I said, okay, let me now take my laptop to the beach. And I was like, oh my God, people are missing out the beach. The beach is in front of you and you're sitting there and writing your content. Who does that, man? Come on, enjoy the present moment, enjoy that your kids are playing. I'm just gonna say, who the hell wants to sit on the beach and do the work? No. But this is the picture we see on social media, where sitting on the beach, and it's so kind of nice. I'm like, no, I don't want to be there. Even though when I started coaching, that was like, oh, I want to have a beach office, sit there, it will be so nice. And then you say hey, this is not, because you're distracted by other people, distracted by, people running, you're distracted by lots of things going on. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. So the money trauma, if you go back to that, is the stories you have been telling yourself all the way, and also the difference you can experience as a child, that your parents maybe don't have the money to afford fancy holidays for you as a child, and then you go back, everyone is sharing their stories, and you're like, I just spent my holidays visiting my auntie in the same town, and so lots of women of color, they have different stories with different colors. And I can share one of my clients. She is six-figure owner, and her story was that I earn money but I can't use money. because of the guilt she was feeling. The guilt, my father wasn't able to earn that money. So I am doing that, but I don't want to show off. My siblings are not doing that. Like, they are not earning as much as I do. So she, even with all that money, she was having a scarcity mindset, because there was some trauma attached to that story. There was pain attached to that story, anxiety, fear, self-doubt attached to that. Who am I to spend that money? And she spent lots of money on her children. Even with the children, she wasn't able to buy the stuff she wanted to buy, just in case, what will the parents think or say about her? But when we worked on the money trauma, she released that. And guess what? She was able to increase the income increased somehow. Even there were same clients, same everything, but she, she said, like, the money flow changed. So she was started earning more than she did before. So that's the benefits of releasing that trauma.
A lot of things to unpack on what you said. First of all, thank you for sharing that, because I think this is a topic that not a lot of people are talking about, and it's huge, because the real evil is not money and abundance. The real evil is poverty, because from poverty, you have so many, like, challenges, and this is where you start taking the wrong decisions. With money, you have the comfort. If you're taking a bad decision, it's on you, right? You're consciously doing it. You're not in, like, survival mode. And as you said, we are in a very interesting situation as either first or second, or even now third generation, immigrants, where we have, like, the whole world is getting more and more comfortable. You have more money, you have more possibilities, more knowledge, like everything. And as you said, we are having these trauma that are in our subconscious, these stories that we built, through our childhood, that, like stories that we just saw our parents do. And thank you for sharing your father's story. Same that I had. I mean, my mom is a superhero. Like, for me, she started traveling at 15 years old by herself, taking the boat from Algeria, coming to France and working the summers, to feed her family. So she's the oldest. So that's why, I mean, I've learned from her, and she's working nonstop. So I got her hardworking, values, but also the scarcity. She lives in scarcity. She doesn't enjoy the money that she has, and unfortunately, because this is how she grew, and when she tells these stories about her childhood, and when you're like coach, or like you're learning about all these mechanisms that happen in your head, you're like, oh my gosh, this is what's happening. There is a true, like, trauma, or like subconscious programming, let's call it like that, because it's truly like that, and happening on the back end. So that explains your results of today. So on a personal level, what I've been working on is going back to my faith. And one of the meaning, or one of the qualities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you go back to our creator, what is it? It's the abundance, it's the creation, the expansion. So as Muslim, that's why we limit ourselves as human beings. But as Muslims, when we go and, like, try to reflect on these qualities and understand that the world is expanding, the universe is expanding, this is what scientists tell you, you can't fathom, what is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's power and possibilities, but we're part of his essence, and we have also these possibilities in our life. So the moment you kind of understand that, you try to rewrite your inner story, or what's possible for you, and reevaluating your beliefs and creating new beliefs. And I'm like you, money is evil, like, oh, like, a lot, these are from, like, TV and whatever, like, people that have a lot of money, they do all these weird haram stuff. So, like, no. A Muslim, I wrote my, like, limiting beliefs, and one of them was like, Muslims are humble, and humility was equal, like poverty or like simplicity or like, you know what, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes. So I understand like where these like limiting beliefs comes from. And I'm like, no, go back to the expansion, go back to the abundance. So this is what I'm pushing my, energy towards too. And slowly but surely, you start to reconnect or heal your money traumas, as you said. So I love that you're doing that. And I'm, asking people to go check out your content, because again, not a lot of people are talking about it, and we need this, this knowledge out there 100%.